face cool. All of my bag, are you confused? I ride a bag, I ain't going to school. I know he ain't that, but he made the news. She say, Doobie, you so melodic. You always styling. You got a style. Got me smoking desire. You bring exotic.
Up until this point, we haven't talked about YFA. YFA, led by F5, was a group of straight crash outs. People like F5, Reek 1200, FS the Bender, Baby Wick, Kier, Eam Stacks, and 30 all claimed YFA. If you pay real close attention to Reek and F5, they only diss certain dead people. There is a distinction between YBC and YFA, but not much of a difference. So to keep it simple, I just call everyone involved with YBC and YFA, YBC. Mind you, F5, Reek, Baby 1K, Baby Wick, and 30 are all down, facing bodies at the moment. This really was a gang of crash outs, as I said before. In fact, there's a rumor that in order to join YFA, F5 said you had to catch a body. This would explain why the young boys were so bloodthirsty before they all crashed out.
Sniper runner, hold up, wait, I got him. Let me chase him down. You ain't got a body, you can't roll with us.
At this point in the story, we talked about YBC, Demont, and 38th Street, and the deaths of Josh, Bud, and BL. We talked about Sid getting shot at the playground and how he claimed he had parts in the killing of BL. Sid, as I mentioned before, was a beloved member at 39th Street. He had ties to Demont. After Q Raw was killed, it really started to get ugly. 2021 would be a wild year for YBC.
That's not weird at the park though. It was so many people on the court and they ended up catching him. Like, how close was they? Like, that shit is crazy. This is my mind. How fucking close were they that they only caught him and nobody else got back right then and there though? Nobody
2021 and 2022 would be wild years for YBC as the name recognition would skyrocket as they dissed more and got more and more disrespectful. YBC Duel, F5, Reek 1200, and of course J100 were carrying it for YBC as far as the music went, basically all of 2021 and 2022. YBC would systematically hunt for Sid almost weekly. They really want to get back for BL.
It's a job, actually.
Sid ended up getting arrested around the fall of 2020. In March of 2021, YBC thought they had their target locked in. A CO up at State Road gave YBC false intel as they said Sid would be getting released on Thursday, March 18th, 2021. At around 12 in the morning, Rodney Hargrove Sr. got a call from his son saying he was released and ready to be picked up. 20-year-old Rodney Hargrove Jr. was driven by prison staff from the complex to across the street, a designated drop-off point. YBC and their faulty intel went up to the complex and shot Hargrove, mistaking him for Sid. The news of the innocent man, Hargrove, being killed only made YBC's hunt for Sid stronger. But of course, they would have to wait for Sid to be released. Eventually, Sid was granted house arrest in April, and YBC wasted no time getting with him. As in May of 2021, they chased him down the street, shooting at him, and ended up striking his 6-year-old sister. His parents would take Sid and the family and move all the way across the city to Port Richmond.
Wait, did the 6-year-old survive?
YBC refused to relent, continually attempting to discover his location or setting him up for another attack.
Becoming an all too familiar trend. This is Eyewitness News at 6, and we are streaming live on CBS in Philly. Hello, everyone. I'm Yuki Washington.
And I'm Jessica Cartalia. A 6-year-old girl is hospitalized after being shot in West Philadelphia. It happened this afternoon on Wyalusing Avenue, and we're told the girl was outside playing with her friends when a group of men ran up and opened fire. She was shot in her leg. The girl's parents were in a car, which was also hit by bullets.
It's disgusting yet again that I'm here speaking to you about a 6-year-old getting shot, but what's also very striking to me is that the 6-year-old had the wherewithal to tell her parents that she had been shot. How does a 6-year-old know what getting shot is like? How does a 6-year-old know what bullets sound like or what, gunfire sounds like? And how does she know or how does he or she know what a bullet wound looks like? That
The 16-year-old boy shot near a Southwest Philadelphia basketball court that Thursday night in May of 2021 was a high school senior just weeks away from graduation.
Damn,
A standout basketball player and something of a role model for younger teens in the neighborhood. That's how several people remembered Kwame Mitchell after he was killed and a 13-year-old boy was wounded in a burst of gunfire near the Derridus playground, a crime that police said remained something of a mystery in the early stages of the investigation. Q5, despite his age and ambiguous involvement in this beef, wasn't spared being dissed in his death.
Sherwood wish they could get their favorite athlete back.
We done bet the whole fucking West, we looking for the ops. Q5 or K3 can't make no more jump shots.
What did the
As
kid
you could probably
do, though?
tell by now, YBC and their ops
Nigga said they
don't
lost
care
their
about the
favorite
safety of
athlete.
anyone,
Oh my god.
whether they are involved or not. It's one thing to say I signed up for the streets and know what comes with it. It's already bad enough that they're killing each other. But to now involve seemingly innocent people is sickening. I give a lot more of my opinion on my other channel, so I'm just going to try and keep the commentary to a minimum here. To be completely honest, I don't know who was responsible for Q5's murder. But YBC dissed him a lot after they found out his relationship with Caitlin Johnson, or KJ, who we will speak about in a little bit. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the channel more than you know.
Definitely does.
While the war between YBC and 39th Street and Lamont was raging, the young boy Lil Mir from 64th Street was shot and killed in March of 2021. Some 39th Street members were cool with Lil Mir, so that's how and why O to the 4, Lil Bucks, and YBC started beefing. This continued with shots back and forth on social media and O to the 4 members shooting at YBC on 3 separate incidents in 2021. Even though YBC didn't kill Lil Mir, they still dissed him in songs and the beef was on and popping.
Get back for Lil Mirror, he caught a neck shot.
These neck shots make a nigga bleed, make a nigga can't wait till
The family of 18-year-old Nasir Marks says they were looking forward to watching him walk at his high school graduation at the Dell Music Center in Fairmount Park in a matter of weeks at the time. But with him now gone, his family won't get to do that. Nasir's family had been preparing for a graduation party, but the 18-year-old was shot multiple times on the 3900 block of Poplar Street in West Philadelphia at around 7:30, May 25th, 2021, and later died. His family was making his graduation shirts when they got the phone call. Nasir was a senior at Overbrook High School. He was also set to attend Kutztown University. A half hour later, just before 8 p.m., YBC killed a 15-year-old boy on the 2500 block of Sydenham Street in North Philadelphia. Based on ballistic evidence, we know at least 32 shots were fired from 2 separate caliber semi-automatic weapons, Philadelphia Police Chief Inspector Scott Small said. The victim was identified as 15-year-old Kanye Pittman. He was a freshman at Benjamin Franklin High School. He was shot multiple times. He was shot in the head, the neck, the chest, the torso, and the arms. He was unresponsive and he was bleeding heavily.
It's crazy, bro. These niggas are professional shooters, bro.
Due to the fact that this 15-year-old was hit so many times, at least 5 times by gunfire, and the fact that he's the only victim, we believe he may be the intended target, Small said.
Why? What is a 15-year-old?
Kanye Pittman, another kid, was caught up in this beef somehow. YBC will go on to diss him heavily, giving him the disrespectful name of Young Boy from the Back Block. Reek was so proud of himself about the fact that he killed 2 people in one day he had to bring it up in the song.
Don't get it twisted, bitch. I still pop right out that cut. He out of luck. Put his ass up on that side, he should've ducked. We spin back to back. Bodies in one day, they know what's up. We get it done. Get that drop and drop his ass. This shit for fun.
It's definitely a tragedy anytime someone is shot and killed in the city. But in this particular evening, we've had an 18-year-old and a 15-year-old killed within a half-hour time frame. Clearly, two separate shootings.
By the same person.
That's the thing about YBC. I was able to make this whole documentary based off their own lyrics. Of course, I had to do a lot of research to find out who these people are, but YBC's own lyrics gave me a starting point. There's no positive outcome in getting involved with beef like this. Once you've disrespected someone's dead friend or relative on video and put it out as art or music, I think by now, people know what comes behind that. That's why I say, dissing the dead, you might as well put a big sign on your head saying, "Come kill me." That's essentially what you're doing when you diss the dead. To be fair to the 15 and 16-year-olds caught up in this, a lot of the time, it's peer pressure that would put a kid in this kind of deadly situation in the first place. The older ones, like J100 and YBC Duel, are the main culprits and blamed in this particular situation. Just a few weeks before he died, KJ Johnson got his driver's license. His mom wanted to congratulate him on his great grades so far in high school, his accomplishments on the basketball and football court, and just being an all-around standout young man. On the fatal day of his death, he picked up a couple of friends, including his day one homie, Tommy Frazier, or Snipe, and headed to play basketball on a Wednesday, a sunny afternoon in West Philly. It was July 21st, 2021. Kalen Jihad Johnson was heading into his junior years at Boys Latin Charter School in West Philadelphia, while Frazier had enrolled at Simon Gratz High School in November. Two 0 to the 4 members were also in the car on the day of the shooting, with one of them getting hit. Snipe was from 56th Street, the same block Young Liv claims. Apparently, a phone call by YBC to 56th Street members was made to try and squash this before it turned uglier than it already was.
At least somebody was
but
trying.
Those attempts at a truce were ignored. Young Liv and Lil Bucks were tied in now. Bucks and Livy really didn't like each other at first. They were two hothead rappers from West Philly who both had a buzz and who both led their respective camps. Now things would really start to get crazy for YBC, as now, along with 39th Street and 44th and 45th Streets, the Mott, now they had beef with a lot more people, more ways to get set up, backdoored, or caught with your head down. 0 to the 4 and 56th Street were as serious a threat as they were going to face at this point in time. They were just as relentless and had their own group of crash dummies. The campers, 0 to the 4, and the clappers, 56th Street, would click up with the other clappers from 7th Street down in South Philly, and they would be known as CCK.
He said there was 4 different niggas in that room.
The clappers and the clappers.
He said 2 of them died in 2.
We got stuck up at the light, you should have played them always. We just caught another victim, ask me how I do it.
Wait till I catch Livy. Look, big shots from the glizzy, spinny, make that nigga dizzy. I'ma shoot it till it's in.
You try snipe, when you could go up there, me tell me. How about that dad like that Millie drop all on his body? Y'all knew y'all was getting followed, why the fuck y'all niggas stop? They scored on K3, they hit him for the shot.
We was at the light, he ain't go.
I don't even want the chain when I catch him, I want his dread.
I was Snipe, smoking Snipe, dog rolling buddy out the snake.
Smoking little snake, he got me higher than a motherfucking kite. I thought you niggas knew better than I get caught up at the light.
Proceed with caution if you step in my direction.
Like, that's kind of easy. You could just, like, try to figure out what happened, like, around that time period and see who got shot at the light. And it, like, you could just, oh my God, these
Hung with the camper, so we had to send a message. Through a pass at us, and we had to intercept.
Sniper runner, hold up, wait, I got him, let me chase him down. He ain't see it coming, they twitching on that.
39th Street is also clicked up with 44th Street due to the young boy Q Raw being shot and killed by a YBC member a few months before KJ and Snipe were shot.
I think we still in 2021.
Also, the connection with Sid I mentioned earlier. So you now have all these click-ups between these blocks going back and forth. Speaking of Sid, YBC would finally catch up to him in September of 2021 when 30 was arrested on the scene after shooting and killing Sid.
For 20 minutes.
Sid was in the house on house arrest when YBC got the drop on where he lived. 30 would sneak up on his porch with another shooter and unload into the front door, killing Sid. His father was also shot, but luckily he survived. As 30 and either F5 or YBC Kier, one of the two, ran away, the cops appeared and 30 started firing at the cops. All of the shots missed. 30 was arrested at the scene. He was found lying under a car. The Sessoms family, another family, was left to pick up the pieces from this war that is traumatizing from the city.
They wanna know the best strain, bro, the best cake.
Most in the backstreet froze. You was at the
I just sold a pound of the fro off one plate. Security, he was walking away and had to get a drop.
The Sessoms family, another family, was left to pick up the pieces from this war that is traumatizing the city and showing the ugly forces of the criminal underworld. Old head from part 1 and Sid's original shooter never recovered after this. At this point in the story, 39th Street and YBC were officially sworn enemies. DeMont and YBC were officially sworn enemies. 56th Street, along with 024 and YBC, were officially sworn enemies. And there are other beefs YBC is involved in that we didn't touch on in this story, like their beef with 59th Street over Bud, or their click up with P&B, which we'll touch on in the next part. When you click up with another set from across town, whether it's to swap guns, to get reinforcements for your shooters, or to get money together, you inherit each other's already established beef. And P&B already had their own situation uptown with Westside Mafia and NLB and others. We will get into all of that in part 3, as well as the 16 people YBC lost to death or jail in 2022 and 2023. All of that in part 3. At this point in the story, September of 2021, as far as YBC was concerned, they are up on all their ops. 2021 saw them drop 7 people from their ops, 1 innocent by mistake, and 1 op's little sister got shot. That's just what I could fit into this video. I never got to mention Rel, Hattie, and Benji getting shot. We didn't mention Duel and One Mayor and both their camps getting into a huge brawl at the Wells Fargo Center during Powerhouse. Yeah, YBC is up right now, but 2022 and 2023 would be a whole different story. October of 2021 would be a preview of what's to come for YBC as Gorilla Joe, or Joe Rilla, a big YBC member, was killed. The circumstances behind his death are unknown to me at this time, but he died in late September or early October of 2021. Part 3 will see the peak of YBC. You know, all the songs you've heard them for, all the dissing, and the other things they are known for besides the killing really starts to take form. But with all the people they killed, it doesn't take a genius to guess what happens next. Not 1, 2, not 3, but 5 YBC members were killed between May of 2022 when BK was killed, and most recently T.O. getting killed a few months ago.
Big get back right here.
Even on Monday, there was a killing on 52nd and Jefferson related to this beef. Stay tuned for all of that and more in part 3. For now, y'all be safe.